Just quickly, we're getting this bounce off the trend line that I warned you about. We could still go to the 100 period, and if we lose that, you can get a bigger dump to the 200 period and horizontal support. But right now we're trying to bounce off there. We got a bottoming tail. We close back above horizontal support. So that's good, and we're trying to rally back up. We got to clear the 98,000 level and the 50 period, and then again go higher. You have a possible bull flag that is forming here. The head and shoulders pattern still is in play. We'll be watching that. You got a little bullish divergence with our low right here. We'll be watching, do we go back and test that low? We had dropped 6% and the dip was bought. Again, S&P and Bitcoin are doing the same things, but just wanted to let you know that, again, I'm watching to see if these bullish divergences now play out. And again, we still may revisit these lows and get a higher low or test that 100 period moving average, but I'm watching that to see if, again, these divergences play out. If this low holds, do we eventually get traction back up? And this evolves now from a head and shoulders into a bull flag pattern at this level of support. I talked about this trend line long before we ever hit it. I talked about this trend line here, back over here where we were talking about bouncing. Told you to be watching to see, do we get a lower high for head and shoulders? And again, it could be a fake out pattern if we don't go below the 100 period moving average, if we bounce off this trend line above the 100 period moving average. So again, we could see a big rally surrounding Inauguration Day and a continuation of the election rally for the breakthrough of overhead resistance if we can resume the advance. So we'll be watching. Do we see this now evolve into a bull flag? Too early to tell, but again, the pattern could be setting up here, and we have these bullish divergences that are forming. MACD and the price oscillator, RSI, I've talked about that. We're forming bullish signals. The daily chart here, it is on the 4-hour chart, pring parameter. If it goes in positive territory, again, we can resume the advance. We're coming up to the 200. If we can get above the 200, 50 gets back above it, price holds above both, we can resume the advance. We're going to be watching that bounce that we got off the trend line, and horizontal support continues to hold. The PPI came in cooler. If the CPI tomorrow comes in cooler, stock market moves to earnings season, we could see the stock market and Bitcoin try to find a bottom and try to resume the advance going into the inauguration, going into the Fed meeting at the end of the month, 2 weeks from now. And again, Bitcoin could keep going here and peak at some point in the first quarter, 120 to 125,000 area. Again, we can still come back and test this level. My trend line moves slightly on me though. I love the charting program, but sometimes you hit save on the trend line and the trend lines and they move on you. Okay, we're trying to bounce right here. Again, this is our linear scaling. And again, if we go to our log scaling, we have another trend line just below there. But again, are we forming some divergences? And again, they may not be done yet. We still may hit that 100 period or try to take it out like we did back over here. We talked about that at the time. And again, or go back and get a higher low and test that bottoming tail. We'll be watching that. But we'll be watching to see if these divergences now begin to try to play out, if this level can hold or if the 100 period holds as a support area. And it still may be tested. Again, we got these bullish divergences that are forming. They may not be done yet. We need to go into the positive region with oscillators here. Again, we need to clear this 98,000 area and get back into the positive portion of the cloud if we're going to bottom. But you do have, a bullish divergence that has formed on a lot of my oscillators and indicators. Here we got to be able to clear the 98,000 area, get back into the positive portion of the cloud. And we bounced off the trend line, we came down and we hit this trend line right here, and we hit this trend line right here. This is our linear scaling, and we tried to bounce. We had a 6% drop with that doji right there, and we've dropped from the peak over here nearly 18%. And then everybody started turning bearish, rebounded back up. We'll see if we flirt with this area a little bit more, or do we break it? You got your 100 period. If we take out that, you've got your 200 and horizontal support down here. And again, the head and shoulders pattern, it measures to 74,000. So the risk is that we get a bigger dump, not much of a way of support right here. But we are starting to see signals show some signs of life again. Just real fast, we had the rebound with the doji, and again, we had pretty much a flat close there. And then on the Tuesday session, we were up 2.14%. Right now, we're up just over 0.25%, and we're still at the 50-period moving average. That's the green line right there. 10 to 20 still below the 50-period. Got to get those moving averages, shorter-term moving averages back above the 50, price back above the 50. Got to take out this high over here, get back above 100,000 and clear this 50-period and the 98,000 area. Currently, we're at the just under 97,000. You got to clear the 98,000 area of resistance. Get back above 100,000 and then go on your way and clear this lower high that's set up right here, just under 104,000. And then here we're seeing the price oscillator again, try to get that bullish divergence I talked about setting up. Again, when we went in negative territory, I told you can firm up and go positive, or you can form a bullish divergence. A bullish divergence is forming. Still may revisit this level on our 100 period. We'll be watching. Again, here we've got to be able to clear the 99,500 area. We've got to get back in the positive portion of the cloud and get above the red line there, the 99,500 area, and we got to see the price oscillator go into positive territory and remain there. Again, could see a large bearish divergence begin to set up a larger building upon this one, and still see Bitcoin go and make new highs and move towards 120 to 125,000. You see my last video, go watch it. I talk about very, very important things about that price target of the 120,000, but wanted to let you know some positive things, a bounce off support, a bounce off the trend line, and bounce off VWAP support here. And again, horizontal support could go down a little bit lower. This VWAP right here, from this low right here, is right where the 100 period moving average is in the daily time frame. So we'll be watching that. But right now we're trying to bounce off of this this VWAP level of support, at least for right now. We're getting a bottoming tail. If it breaks, not much of the way in the way of support. Should we lose the 100 period, you can go down towards the 200 period and towards horizontal support. The head and shoulders still measures to 74,000, which again, I'm sorry, this peak right here is 73,700, so just above that there. So if we go a little bit lower, we could still bounce here off of, and right now we're trying to, this lower boundary of on the weekly time frame with our rainbow cloud. Again, even if we break it like we did over here, you can still go a little bit lower towards that 100 period, or even take out the 100 period and still try to find a bottom there. So we'll be watching these levels, and there are more trend lines if we lose the trend line that we were trying to bounce off of. Let's see if we try to develop a bottom. If we could bounce that horizontal support, I'll be watching to see if some of my indicators, the oscillators, have bullish divergences, and see if we can try to bounce, or do we have to tag that 100? And again, the risk is that we break it and move towards the 200 and move towards the 74,000 area, get a bigger dump. That's the risk right here. If horizontal support can hold, we got to be able to break the cloud and flip things back to bullish, get the moving averages back in a bullish arrangement, get the oscillators back into positive territory. See these divergences produce a reversal. Now we closed the Tuesday session, and we're now moving into the Wednesday session. We closed the Tuesday session with another bullish signal, and right now we're trying to flip the momentum line with the Wednesday session. I won't know for sure if it's flipped until the close on Wednesday. If we get a strong move up, it will likely do it. If we start selling off, then again, it may cancel it out. Then we have to get the balance of power back into positive territory. We're still neutral here with the swing move, still going sideways and bouncing off that horizontal support. I'm making this video because I wanted to let you know that we got this signal right here on the Tuesday session, and now we're trying to flip on the Wednesday session. We're trying to flip the momentum line. So that's what I wanted to let you know. Still, there's risk of more downside if we break this support level and break that trend line that we're bouncing off of, but wanted to make you aware of that. Told you I would make you aware of that if we saw another bullish signal show up, and we did here, and we're trying to flip momentum at the moment. Again, the Wednesday session is not done yet, so we won't know if it will officially flip until the close of Wednesday. And we did see with the Tuesday session, the impulse line turned back to bullish, and there's that bullish signal. We got some bullish signals here. Now we're getting it here. And again, you got a possible, as I said, a possible little miniature double bottom there, as we talked about previously, with those two little bottoms at key horizontal support. I talked about the bullish divergences. Here it is on momentum. Again, the risk is that we still go down and test this low or even take it out. Again, got to flip all these signals back to bullish and have these divergences play out and go back into positive territory if we're going to see that happen. I'll try to make another video tomorrow and update you on this, but I wanted to let you know about these signals. The bullish signal here, the impulse line is turning back to bullish here. Again, we got to flip the trend signals back to bullish, but momentum is trying to flip to bullish with these divergences. We're going to get that CPI tomorrow, and again, we bottom out ahead of Inauguration Day and resume the election rally surrounding Inauguration Day. And I think that's possible because we've been selling off since December here. So, but we have to be able to resume the advance and clear overhead resistance, and we'll be watching all of that. See those resistance levels. I'll link my last video at the end of this one. You can also watch my S&P video on the stock market, S&P, NASDAQ, and the Dow and the Russell. The S&P is doing something very similar, and both Bitcoin and the S&P are both bouncing off trend lines, so you might want to check that out as well. Wanted to update you. We are getting this bullish signal, and also you can't see it right here, but we're getting the little arrow as well, the little bullish buy signals covering it, but we are getting a little bullish little arrow there. If I hover over it, you can see that. So again, I'm starting to see some bullish signals. Head and shoulders could possibly evolve into a bullish bull flag pattern, as I talked about at the beginning of the video. Keep you posted. Don't forget to support the channel if you like the information. The link is directly below. Follow the link. It'll take you to a secured site, and you can donate any amount you want. Thank you for your consideration for that.